Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Bernadette Smith. I am CEO of Equality Institute, and welcome to 5 Things in 15 Minutes. Today, I'm joined by Erma. Erma, would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Erma. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm always excited to be here. So, hey, everyone, happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday. You know what? When I scheduled this, I didn't realize that it's a federal holiday. So, we might not have too many people joining us today. But for those of you who are here, we welcome you to the show. So, 5 Things in 15 Minutes is my weekly LinkedIn live show in which I talk about good vibes in diversity, equity, and inclusion and corporate social responsibility. Because what I have found is that there are a lot of things, a lot of articles, a lot of stories about what's going wrong. But there's also a lot of really cool stuff happening. And so that's what I search out every week. And I write I share in a 5 Things newsletter on Saturday mornings. And then on Mondays, I am joined by a special guest, and we recap those 5 things in 15 minutes and bring you all good vibes in DEI to start your work week. Except today is not the start of a work week for a lot of you. Tomorrow is. So hopefully you'll catch the replay. But for those of you who are here, welcome your comments and questions at any point in the next 15 minutes. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so this is February's Black History Month, which of course it should be celebrated all year long.
Yeah.
But one of the organizations, one of the companies I really admire and want to give a shout out to this Black History Month is Target. So they really have done a lot of great things over the years. And what they're doing this year is they're modeling even more equitable initiatives and through the theme creating our own future. So they have partnered intentionally with Black creators and artists, not just business owners, and they're showcasing their products. They're amplifying those voices. They're doing a lot of things to support these businesses. Good news, Irma.
Yeah, it really is. As someone who loves to shop at Target, being able to go there and see products that are designed by people that look like me, designed for people like me is really important because, we're not all the same. We have different needs and aesthetics. So it's really nice to be able to see that. And as you mentioned, of like Black History Month and, to be celebrated year round. Target is one of those places that does that. So it's really great to see that even within this month that they're doing this. And then also in that article of like showing that this is something we do year round too. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and beyond that, it's not just about saying, okay, here are a bunch of Black-owned businesses. It doesn't end there.
Mhm.
It's also about providing professional development resources for those businesses so to expand their capacity to help them run more successful, more sustainable businesses. So they donate a lot of pro bono hours for that. This initiative was really started by the Black Employee Resource Group at Target. So it's involving employees who are Black, really, in creating and curating all of these different products and initiatives. So it's kind of like a for us by us kind of thing that Target is doing.
Yeah, it's really amazing to be able to see a company that's not only trying to like have like some gain and you say, oh, this is what we're doing, but really putting themselves out there as well and providing resources and the things that you were mentioning. So it's really empowering to see that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so the next story comes from Belgium, which is the first country that I know of that actually has passed a law allowing employees to request a 4-day work week. So apparently, by the way, instead of a 5-day work week and having the same salary. So this is pretty significant from Belgium, from what I understand, because the country has very rigid labor laws and a pretty strict employee culture. So it's pretty significant here that this is something that is now available to employees. Of course, the company can still say no in writing, but it's notable.
It really is because I've had so many conversations with like friends and people around me about a 4-day work week and what that would look like and what that could feel like. So being able to have that option, and hopefully companies are not going to be like, no, but at least attempt it and try it out and see what it looks like, because people work better when they're feeling good and being able to put in their full selves. So a 4-day work week sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, right. It can allow employees to have a lot more balance, more well-being. It's really fantastic. I mean, and I guess for a lot of people, this week is a 4-day work week. Not for you or me, but for a lot of people, it is.
Yes.
So kind of along those lines, the small fast casual restaurant chain Dig is actually offering this 4-day work week option to kitchen staff. So hourly kitchen staff can choose to work longer days for 4 days instead of doing their work in 5 days. Same kind of thing, but it's not the type of thing we typically see happening with restaurant employees, especially, back of the house.
Right, which is now that to me, because people can easily, make that transition to salary employees, but to be able to offer this to hourly staff, that's I think was really amazing to try this out and to see what this could look like, because everyone deserves that work-life balance.
Right? Exactly. They do. And a lot of times restaurant workers, especially the back of the house staff, there are often a lot of first generation Americans, even undocumented workers in back of the house. And they might have these options available to them now, which could allow them to potentially, for those who need to, work another job.
Yeah, being able to work another job, being able to, as someone who's worked 5 days, having that weekend off. Sometimes you need that day in the week to be off, to run errands, to do different things, because other places are closed on weekends too. So it just provides that time for you to do that, have that day to run your errands and still be able to rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so the next story comes from TD Bank, which has enhanced its employee benefits. So those employee benefits now cover child daycare, elder care, surrogacy, donor, and adoption costs, and more. So this is all about expanding the definition of what family is and taking better care of their employees, again, for better well-being.
Yeah. I mean, as you're saying, everything on here today is all about well-being, and then it's so amazing to see. And it mentioned pregnancy loss for bereavement too. So that, like, being able to look at a person as like their whole selves, and if you're caring for someone, if there's a loss in any type of way, that you'll have that time and that care to be able to care for yourself. So, it's I'd love to see more places go in this way of really caring for their employees, and it's really empowering.
Absolutely. And obviously we know that there's not one way to build a family, right? And some of the less traditional ways are very expensive, having gone through some of that myself. And so really keeping in mind that as well. I mean, this becomes a form of inclusion, because it acknowledges that there are non-traditional family types.
Yes.
So, I think that all types of inclusive benefits really do matter. And when there's a shortage of labor, these benefits are very attractive, right? They can help employers really attract top talent.
Yes.
All right. And so the last story today comes from Salesforce, which is the latest company that I've seen, especially on a large scale, to tie executive compensation to environmental, social, and governance goals, and also diversity, equity, and inclusion goals. So ESG and DEI goals. So leaders are actually going to be measured specifically on a focus on increasing representation of Black, Latinx, Indigenous, and multiracial employees in the United States, and of women employees globally. And this is accountability.
It's really important to see, like, not only set the goals, but to also set accountability into place, because that means that this is something that we're looking at as far as your performance as well, which is extremely important when setting those goals, you have to have that accountability in place as well. So that was really cool to see. I was also interested to see what it looked like as far as, creating an environment to bring on these new staff, because that's also important to bring them, like it's important to bring them on, but also like what is that environment going to be, and the accountability in that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's one thing to say, okay, well, we're going to increase the numbers, we're going to increase the diversity, but those people could very well leave if they don't feel included, if they don't feel like there's a sense of belonging. Mm-hmm. And at a company as large as Salesforce, it's very easy for that sense of belonging to vary depending on who you work for, who your manager is, what your team is like. But it does matter to have this type of accountability at the highest level. Yeah. By the way, Salesforce actually provides, I think at least director level, maybe it's higher level managers, with a scorecard each month based on the different diversity metrics. So hiring targets, promotion targets, et cetera. It actually breaks it down by employee demographic. So, and it's not in this article, but it's something that they're doing as a way to prevent managers from saying, I don't really know where we're at. Well, here you go. Here's your report card.
Oh yeah, got to get that report card to see, that's awesome.
Right? Reduce the excuse for not doing the work.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what we hear a lot of. At least that's what I hear a lot of, is this feeling of don't know where to start, don't have the right information. So I'm not going to do anything. It's easier to not do anything than to undertake these changes.
Right. To remove any of those excuses, as you were saying, so that, we have to do it. And like, it's easier to not do it, but to put those things into place, and those accountability, the report card, everything in there. So like, we have to try. We may not know where to start, but we have to do it. And this is how we can do it. I'm sorry, I'm cat sitting and just making sure she's not doing anything she's not supposed to do. But yeah, so having those measurements in place so that, to bring new staff on is really amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, for those of you watching, we hope that we provided you some inspiration to start your week. We hope that we've given you some ideas that you can take back and adapt for your own organization, ideas of what's going right and how you can use these ideas yourself to create more equitable and inclusive organizations. If you don't already get the newsletter, you can subscribe at 5thingsdei.com. People love it. A lot of people read it. I hope that you enjoy it if you do. And thank you for joining today's show. Thanks for joining me today, Erma.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Enjoy the 4-day work week for those of you who have it. Take care. Bye.